Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another story time. Something else popped in my head, so I had to get on here and, come to y'all with what's on my mind. And I have a story time for y'all. But before I get into the story, can you guys please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because I would greatly appreciate it. And hit the notification bell so that you can know when I upload and keep in touch with me. So we're here. Let's go ahead and get into this video. So this story will be about my worst apartment ever, y'all. My worst apartment ever. So this took place about 5 years ago now. About 5 years ago. Me and my boyfriend, we've been together 7, 8 years now. So yeah, about 5 years now. So my boyfriend, I'm not really sure if he needed a name for this story time, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him a name. And we just gonna call him Toot, cause that's my nickname for him. We gonna call him Toot. So me and Toot moved into these apartments maybe like 5 years ago. And we were both young. I'm 30 now, so I was like 22, 23, and I was going through some things with my dad, because me and my dad always had issues, growing up. And when you don't get along with a parent, the best thing to do is like pretty much get your own spot. So that's what I had to do. Toot, he was pretty much good with his family. He stayed with his grandma and his family. He was pretty much good, but it was me. I was staying with my dad, and then being young, rebellious, also just having issues with my dad. It just wasn't working, so I had to I ended up renting a room from this lady for $5.50 a month. I think it was a month. Anyways, I did that for a couple months. Moved back with my dad, because my dad was like, hey, you can come here and save some money and get back on your feet, and that way you can get your own apartment again. So after 5 months renting a room where I was staying, I go ahead and move back with my dad. We got my stuff from out the room I was renting, and we went and moved with my dad. Well, I moved with my dad. I was there for like a couple months, with him and my stepmom, but it really wasn't going well. I was already like a young lady. I already had a taste of being out on my own. Me and him already didn't get along, so it just didn't work out. So long story short, I ended up having to find an apartment in as soon as possible. So I grew up in the hood. Y'all. I make sure these right. So I grew up in the hood, y'all. So when you grow up in the hood, you know a lot of places, a lot of apartments for low prices. I pretty much grew up in an apartment building that was like low income. So I was already familiar with the area. I already was familiar with the rent around. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to go in inquire about these apartments, because I grew up in this area. This area sucked. It's ghetto. But when you have to do what you gotta do, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I end up going, me and Toot go, we go apply. Me and Toot go, we gonna apply. We get approved, and we give him our first, our little deposits and stuff like that, our payments of rent. I was very thankful though. I was very grateful, because I had my own place. You know what I mean? We had a roof over our head. It was a 1-bedroom, but it was pretty cool, Despite the outside or the surroundings outside, you always make the inside home. You do what you do inside of the house. You know how that goes. However, the apartment itself, it was rinky-dink, raggedy. So we stayed there for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years. I believe so. And I will insert some video and some photos, I believe, if I still have, of these incidences inside of this apartment building. Yeah, it was raggedy as heck, y'all. So the first thing was, we were standing there. I was sitting on the toilet one day, y'all, and I heard just like 5 to 8 shot, 5 to 8, pum pums outside. So
I'm in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Ra-ta-ta-ta.
I immediately like put up my pants and I run to the door. So as soon as I open my door, I can see like the corner store right in front of my building. Y'all, it was a young boy. He had I'm talking about like pum pum up, you know what I mean? So he was like there laid face down. That was the first incident. Traumatized me, straight traumatized me, because I'm like, you know, me and Toot, we young, like we're very young, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want my boyfriend around this environment, you know what I mean? So that was the outside, and the inside was just a mess. Like some spots in the floor, like, you know, like when you walking from the living room into the kitchen, it was a little soft spot in the ground, like almost like if you step too hard or if you stomp too hard, it's gonna, like, you're gonna fall through, like a soft spot, like some water been sitting there. Horrible. We had like several of those spots in the you know, the floor. It was just awful, y'all. The room window that we had inside the bedroom, it didn't open. So like for 3 years, y'all, we was like stuffy, just couldn't couldn't get the window open, could not get any fresh air in there. It was just rinky dink. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. And y'all know the classic apartment buildings who been around for years and years and years and years. What happens? They paint over them 1,000,000 times. I'm talking about, if I didn't see a roach, I'm pretty sure there was some that was like embedded in the paint. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, that roach just be hard, stuck in the paint. You can see his legs and stuff just sticking out, and they done painted over it. I'm talking about since 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2016, 2017. They just paint over it year after year. You get what I mean? Don't actually renovate it. Don't actually do nothing. Just paint over it year after year. Yes, one of those. Y'all, we had to purchase our own stove. We had to purchase our own refrigerator. And I'm not sure if that's common. I think that's probably pretty much common, but I'm not sure if that's common when you move into a new apartment. But we sure had to. Sometimes, y'all, we used to hear the neighbor. We used to hear the neighbors. You know what I mean? Like, we used to hear the neighbors. It was like that. It was like that. But the worst thing I have to say about this apartment was, and y'all, this is Miami again. It was the cheapest of the cheap because of the location that it was in. I think we were paying about $7.95, and this was like 4 years ago. We was paying like $7.95, and then the highest it got was probably like $900 some. You know how every year the rent go up or whatever. So yeah, it was like $7.95. That was a deal. That was a steal. I mean, who wouldn't want that when you're going through something? You know what I mean? But that experience was crazy. Now, this is the worst part of it. Two was at work, and I was home, and I hear just like a boom, y'all. I'm talking about like a bomb boom, like a boom, like something fell out of the sky. I'm talking about like something just like a nuclear bomb just fell in my kitchen. So I get up and I go run in the kitchen, and guess what, y'all? If I have a video, I will leave it here. But y'all, I'm so happy I was not in that kitchen at the time. The whole ceiling fell down, y'all. The entire ceiling. I'm talking about this ceiling. When you look up, you can see like the wood panels. I'm talking about, you can almost see pigeons' asses up there. It was like the roof had fell in on top of my stove. And I was so grateful that I was not in that kitchen at the time the kitchen ceiling fell. But I'm talking about it completely fell down. All of my food that was on top of the refrigerator, everything just destroyed. The whole entire stove just destroyed. I'm talking about it had paint chips everywhere. Even smelled like a little mold, child. So it took them forever. We reported it exactly the same day. They had 2 maintenance guys for the entire building. No cap. They had 2 maintenance guys for the entire building. And they've been, excuse me, y'all, they've been working there since, like, I was a child when these guys were working there, y'all. These apartments been around forever. I'm talking about forever. And these 2 guys, I'm talking about, they still got their same trucks. The same old rinky-dink trucks. They the same 2 guys that maintenance the entire building. So when we reported it, these two guys did not come until like almost a week later, and they didn't even come inside. They had called the third party crew to come patch up the ceiling. Me and Two had to buy like a little grill. we couldn't even use our stove. We had to buy like a little grill and cook in our living room. It was pathetic, y'all. Pathetic. So long story short, those two maintenance guys finally come in, and we're gonna call one of the guys Senior, right? We're gonna call him Senior because he was cool. He stayed downstairs from us. You know how like sometimes the maintenance guys stay inside of the building. He was one of those guys, so he stayed downstairs. He was pretty cool, but he wasn't shit either. So Senior come in and he take a look, and him and his the other guy, them two, they just come in there. They just sealing up a little bit. They didn't even pick the pieces up for us. They didn't do anything. They just patched the ceiling up. And he said he was gonna come back the next day to fix the lighting in the kitchen, like, you know, put the light bulb and all the wires and stuff back together. So, okay. The next day come. The next day come. The next day come. And the next day come. And guess what, y'all? Senior never came back to the apartment to put the light bulb in. So guess what, y'all? We was out. We didn't have a kitchen light for pretty much since that happened to the remainder when we ended up leaving. So now when that happened, y'all, I'm like, I'm over this raggedy apartment. I'm tired of the crime that's like around the building. I'm tired of no parking, y'all. We didn't have no parking, y'all. We didn't have no parking, y'all. When it rained, it's like our parking lot used to like flood. You know what I mean? And one time my car was actually flooded. Like the water reared so high, it was flooded in my car. I'm talking about when I hit the brakes, you can hear the water in the car like, it was crazy. So I was like, I'm done with this apartment. You know what I mean? I'm ready for an apartment. And you know, when you ask God about what you want, he really listens to you. Sometimes everything just don't happen exactly when you want it to happen. It don't work that way. When you want something from the heart, and when you have real good intentions, and you like, you know, you talk to God from within genuinely, he really hears you. So when that happened, every single day, y'all, I was like, I want to move. I want to move. I really want another place. I want to move. I really want to move. I want to move, y'all. And this is around the time COVID happened, y'all. So I want in any way, shape, or form say COVID was a blessing, because I don't think COVID was a blessing. I don't think COVID was a blessing. I don't think that the sea was a blessing. I'm going to have to block that out. But I don't think the sea was a blessing. You know what I mean? Because I end up getting really, really sick. And I'm going to tell you how I lost everything that was in that apartment. So every day I was asking God to provide me and Toot with a better apartment. I want to move. I want to move. So we riding one day and I see these nice apartments. So we busted U-turn and we go in there and we like, do you guys have any, you know, vacancies? And she was like, yeah. So we applied. The very next day, me and him we both got approved. So, you know, since I was already over that old apartment and I wanted to move, I was already like, I don't want to do this. You know, I don't want to stay here. So I was already like buying things for the new apartment like every single day. I was inside everywhere. I'm talking about Walmart. I was in Dollar General, y'all. I was in everywhere, all them shopping places, buying food, buying decorations, everything I seen, I was buying. I was shopping. I was shopping. I was shopping. You know what I mean? And that's why I think I got to see, y'all. I got the C-Vid, y'all. I think that's how I got it. I got really, really, really sick. Anyway, I end up coming to the new apartment. And I got really, really, really sick, y'all. I'm talking about like really sick for like 14 days. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And Toot was working a lot. So them things that we had in that old apartment, I had done totally forgot about it. And what happened was the two maintenance guys, they had to clear the apartment out, and they threw everything away. I'm talking about all my yearbooks, you guys, like my prom pictures. What else they threw away? A lot of my clothing, a lot of like sentimental things that I had. You know, the things that you put up in the closet that you don't really touch. I really wanted my yearbook. Those were like original writings from my classmates, you know what I mean? Like, I barely have any pictures of, like, my prom, you know what I mean? Like, but I was really sick and I just couldn't go get it. So, Tu ended up telling me that he saw, like, the I don't know what you call it, like, the owner of the building. He told me he ended up seeing him somewhere, and the owner of the building was like, why didn't you guys tell me that you wanted to move? Why do we have to tell you we want to move, first of all? Because our ceiling fell down in our kitchen. You guys took a week to come even see about what happened. If I was okay, was he okay? Anything. We couldn't eat in there. We couldn't see in there. We couldn't do anything in that kitchen. It was horrible. And then when your two maintenance guys come to patch up the ceiling, you didn't put a lighting back in the on top for us to see. We didn't have a light for I don't know how long, and you had the nerve to tell myself, why didn't we tell you we had to move? I mean, in all honesty, y'all, we should have said something. We was dead wrong for that. We was dead wrong for that, but I mean, that was the worst apartment ever. He had the nerve to, I'm so gassy, y'all. Excuse me. But he had the nerve to tell Tu why we didn't say anything when we were moving, because this was the worst apartment in history, and you know, I don't feel like we had to, but we should have. I knew better, y'all. We knew better. We knew better than that, but it is what it is. And I just had to get that off my chest because that's what I was thinking about my worst apartment ever, with all of the crime in the area, with all the drug people in the area, my ceiling falling down, the soft spots in the floor. And even with all of that, you guys, no pain, no gain. If you don't go through nothing, you don't learn nothing. I'm so grateful for that experience. Even though I'm talking all this mess about that apartment, I'm so thankful for that apartment. I learned a lot in that apartment. Me and him, we grinded in that apartment. We started our first business in that apartment. We did a lot in that apartment. So even though it was the worst apartment ever, I am so very grateful for that experience, because you don't learn nothing if you don't go through anything. So that's all I had to say, you guys. And again, I appreciate you guys listening to my story and the things that I'm going through, because guess what? A lot more things is on my mind. And I plan to sit down and I plan to talk about it. And I just hope that you guys are here to listen and share your experiences with me. And again, to let me know that I'm not the only one going through these things in life. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, go ahead, like, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can know when I'm coming back on. And thank you guys for watching.